Hi, my name is Dr. Brendan McCarthy. I am the Chief Medical Officer of Protea Medical Center in Tempe, Arizona. Thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast. We're coming to you from our office, and we're making the transition from filming at home to filming here. And I've been excited about this. We've been working in this direction for some time. We're creating a podcast studio. Right now, this is one of our treatment rooms. This is soon to be my favorite treatment room. It's I like it because there's a big glass window, a lot of trees outside, a lot of plants, a lot of live stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, if you're new to our podcast, it's probably the first time hearing me, and if you've been listening to podcasts or watching for some time, you're used to this part where I'm asking you, do me a favor. If you have a chance to scroll down there and please subscribe, and if you like the material that we're sharing, share it with someone you think it would benefit them. And again, if you like it as well, please hit the like button. I do this as a labor of love. This is something I feel strongly about. Before today's episode, I sat in here and I put through my mind, like, why am I doing this? What's the reason for doing this episode today? Like, what do I want out of this? I spend this time because I want to be of help to you. Today's episode, specific, we're going to talk about headaches. And this is a natural feed from my last two series we did, one on PMS, another one on menopause. This is on headaches. And it keys into it. It fits. It should go right in there. There's a few others we're going to do after this, but this one's important to me because this is another area where women are lost. Prior to this episode, I sat in this chair. I was quiet for a little bit, just thinking about who I wanted to speak to. And the woman I want to speak to is the one that has had debilitating headaches. And you get them, and you feel like no one really understands. It's hard to explain because no one can see it. No one can see your pain. You want to get through your life. You have things to do. You don't want to take pain meds all the time, over the counter or not. You've gone to a doctor's appointment and it's either going to be too expensive for them to work out whether you have a tumor, or you go there and you do the whole process and you find out you don't have a tumor. And either way, you're being put on over-the-counter medication for this, or sometimes you're put on prescriptive medication, but they put you on the medication not because they found something in your lab work, but because that's just all they got. Migraines, we just give you this medication. I'm speaking to that woman because the longer you have these headaches, and those of you who are the women who've had these headaches for most of your life, you know how it robs you of just simple pleasures in life. It gets in the way of holidays, quality time with friends, just basic life. And you have no one to turn to, no one to talk to. So then you go on the health food store, or you go to the supermarket, and you try these different things on the counter, on the shelf, whatever. Or you go online and you look up all these ways to treat it. And it's like you have to be your own doctor now. So if you know me, if you've been watching any of my videos ever since the beginning, or listening to even one of my podcasts, you know that this is what I'm dedicated to. The lost women. I say this a lot too, and I repeat it just in case you're new. Everyone else, you're like, you repeat yourself a lot. I do. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm here because I believe that my calling as a physician has been a gift to me in my life. I'm a very fortunate man being where I am now. I'm very fortunate. I work in a wonderful environment surrounded by amazing, gifted people. I don't do this for profit margin. I don't do this for a number. I don't even look at the amount of likes the way most people would think you do. I really don't, because I don't monetize this thing at all. What I do is I look to make sure people are engaging with the content, and that people are talking to each other, people are sharing it. because I want to make sure I do something that could be helpful. And if it's not helpful, people wouldn't do that. So that's what my motivation is. I want you to know that. And that will never change. Never. With that said, I have considered being sponsored by a clothing company because it doesn't directly affect my message with you. Okay, that's not how that is, but I might do that. And there's a type of kombucha I really like called hum kombucha. I might want to be sponsored by them, but that's it. And all I would be asking for them is like a shirt and a 6-pack of kombucha. To be honest with you, this is who I am. This is who I am. I'm not a high roller guy. I'm just Brendan, you know. So let's get into the material. Let's talk about headaches. Let's stop joking around there. Women have headaches. Women suffer pain from headaches over 3 times more frequently than men do. 3 times, if not more. The understanding of this and the reason behind that, even in the literature, is due to hormonal differences between men and women, of course. Neural pathway differences that were established, in utero when we differentiated between boy and girl. Societal reasons. We know that there are reasons women have different stress than men do. Women have different life experiences than men do, to say the least. And so if you look in the literature, that's the reason why. And you look in the books, that's the reason why. Why is it that when you go to your care provider, they don't look at any of those things and try and figure you out from that? Instead, they go straight to, is this a tumor or not a tumor? Are you going to die or not die? And once they rule out that you're not going to die, they give you whatever medicine they think fits your profile, and that's it. Why? I have suspicions what the answer is, but I'm telling you, I said why. Knowing in full truth, there is no reason why that's intelligent, in my opinion. That's ethical, in my opinion. The goal of this episode, this series of episodes we're going to do, is going to kind of go over with you what it looks like to treat it correctly, in my opinion, how I would approach it, what I do in each of these situations. And I'm not doing that to be like, look at me, I'm this. No, that's not me either. But I'm trying to do that to model to you options so that when you're in a clinical setting, you can ask for them. And you can feel that you are safe asking for it. You're right to ask for it. You're not wrong asking for this kind of care. You deserve this kind of care. And it's ridiculous for someone to call themselves a doctor who doesn't try to provide this kind of care completely. So this series we're going to go into, it'll be 3, I believe, episodes, with a 4th where I'll do a Q&A at the end. So this is a new format we've been developing over the past year. When we do these episodes, we do an intro, a couple different episodes after that going over like different causes, different ways of treating. And then during those 3 episodes, we are watching our Instagram, mostly Instagram, we get our most comments, but also look Facebook. We look for any questions we get in there and any responses. And then we take those, and on the final video, we go over those questions, the key ones we think that are the most important, the most interest in them. And I try to make sure I give you as clear an answer as I possibly can. So this series, I'm going to go into the hormones with it. And I'm not telling you that every headache that a woman has is hormonal. This is so important too. It could be. And even if you're having a headache and a migraine around your period, it could be more also. Think about that for a minute. It sounds crazy. You're like, I have my headache always this time of the month, Brendan. How could this not be hormonal? It's more. Sometimes it's a combination of things, and you're at this threshold level, and now the hormonal change will make it happen. I want to make sure you know, if I just did the hormonal part here, I didn't treat the underlying component, I'm not being a good doctor. It's not enough just to say I just scraped off the top and figured out the top end of it, and then you're good. I want to be a physician. I want to understand the sum of you. How did we get to the headache? So we're going to talk about the hormonal component. And when it comes to hormones, I'm going to talk about how hormonal changes affect your ability to make your neurotransmitters that are associated with headaches. We're going to do a little material in how your hormones cross the blood-brain barrier and turn into neurosteroids that also affect or can contribute to you having a headache. I'm going to talk about nutrients and nutrition. Nutrition. It's true, though. It's true. You know, there's, say, just give a quick little example in the sense. Women will burn through magnesium and vitamin B6 faster than men. And the reason why you burn through that is because estrogen. So women with a higher level of estrogen will require more magnesium and more vitamin B6 than other women, and definitely more than men. And if they don't have enough of those, that can trigger a headache. That'd be a nutritional component. Stress, of course, wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about stress. So we'll talk about stress. And then one final one I'll bring up, and it's not as common, but it does happen. There's food intolerances. There are times when we eat certain foods that our bodies don't do well with. And it's not an outright food allergy. You would think of like you eating peanuts and you have an anaphylactic reaction. Or like lactose intolerance is more of an intolerance due to lactase and lactose in your body. But that dairy intolerance, so this can be a little bit different than those. There's an immune response, an irregular immune response to food that you eat could trigger this as well. So I'll go into each one of these. I'll go into how I deduce how those cofactors I just mentioned, all those factors play in to your developing of a headache and migraine. I'll talk about different ways to manage them and how to bring balance back into your life. My goal is to give you a toolkit that you can use when you go to your care provider. I know that almost all of you don't have a great provider. I've been reading my inbox. I know. Some of these things you can do yourself. When you can, I promise you I'll be there. I'll explain how to do it, what to look for, the process which you can eliminate, and how you can make sure this is helping you. But some things you do need a care provider. You do deserve one. Let me reverse that. It's not that you need, you have a right to. You deserve a care provider. So I will give you as much information as possible to be helpful to you as you navigate that space, finding someone who will actually care for you. I hope this helps. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for tuning in to my podcast. I'll see you at the next episode.